Hey, YouTube. Hold on really quick. So, good morning. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm live on Insta and on YouTube. Let me go ahead and paste the link for YouTube on Instagram. All right, guys. So right now I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading. This is a general energy update. I was being told that things that had been hidden for some time now are rising to the surface. And yeah, I'm not being bougie. I made the mistake of putting it in a freaking a metal cup. So now the cup is just as hot as my coffee. So I touched it and it burned my hand. Promise, I'm not being bougie, but I can be. So, all right, let's pull some cards. And again, Insta, you might notice that I'm looking somewhere else instead of where you guys are. If you want me to really be aware of your comment, please join me on the YouTube link. I just commented it. So here goes. Here goes. Good morning, YouTube. Hello, good morrow. Good morrow. Okay, let's see. So things have been hidden for some time. Let's be really real here. All of us hide things. Doesn't make you secretive. It's what we call privacy. Okay. There are aspects of ourselves, things we've experienced that we don't really just, tell other people. And that's okay. You don't have to tell everyone everything. All right. But these very things that we have been trying to keep deeply buried for one reason or another. Usually that avoidance is tied to our discomfort with the lessons attached to whatever we're hiding. Those things are coming back up. They're being prepared to be processed and purged. Tomorrow we have a wolf moon lunar eclipse coming, and that's going to be intense. That's going to be really, really intense. I was looking at a few things, just really trying to analyze what this could potentially mean for everyone. And I got quite a bit of information. This this information has to do with those who aren't already centered in a heart space type of existence. You're going to feel the most discomfort. Okay. The discomfort is stemming from, again, that avoidance. If you try and avoid existing in your heart space, this came up for Gemini last night. If you continue to try and avoid existing in that heart space, it's going to be a very, very big shakeup for you, because these things that you're trying to avoid, these things that make you very uncomfortable, there's going to be agitation with the energies that come in, and it's going to cause it to rise to the surface. This is not about trying to make you believe that you're being punished or any of that. This actually has nothing to do with punishment, or that you're somehow inferior because you're not as developed. We all develop on our own time, our own timeline, in our own way. And so just kind of a heads up for those who do struggle with processing, who do struggle with looking at the issues head on. What ends up happening is when you are forced to really look at whatever it is in the eyes, whatever aspect of yourself, then it's almost like, if we want to put it in these terms, you're very, very exhausted and someone dumps ice cold water on you to wake you up. I mean, that's a really rude awakening, you know what I mean? Versus when you're open and receptive to your own process. Again, this is going to be your process. This is not going to be like spirituality by numbers, like this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. No, this is going to be your own process. If you're open to your own process, if you're open to whatever your higher self is trying to bring to your attention, then it's going to be more of like, hello, hello, wake up, little nudges, hello, hi, beautiful, it's time to wake up. I would prefer that. Honestly, I would prefer that. It's not as like earth shattering. So, okay, I've pulled cards. Let's go ahead and start looking at what the cards are telling us. Card number 37. Focus on the light. So these are cycles that we go through. Cycles over and over and over. We just keep going through cycles, okay? It's not necessarily that because you're going through a cycle, you have an issue with avoidance and you're not being real with yourself. No. Even when you address things, even when you successfully address, successfully observe whatever the circumstance is, it gets circled back around, okay? Because our growth never really ends. It really truly never ends. Your entire life, you're going to continue to go through cycles. That's going to continue to grow you. So there could be some sort of thing that happened last year and you thought you had already dealt with it. You did the whole growth thing, the shadow work, inner child work, self-love work, and that was resolved. And then suddenly it's a repeat this year. It's not because you messed up, you backslid or anything like that. Sometimes it gets brought back around. So you can take an even closer look and learn something on a much deeper level about the very same thing. It's, you can compare it to a regular classroom where are you going to be frustrated because every year you have to take math? I already mastered math in kindergarten. Well, every year when it circles back around, you're doing an even more in-depth level of learning for that particular topic. And same thing with life. Same thing with life. So this card came up yesterday too. You have the ability to tap into your duality. Okay, the duality of being able to destroy everything in your life and being able to put all those fires out. This is not about never experiencing any fires. This is about recognizing you have the ability to harness both. Okay, you are a totality. And this is the very reason why I get so flustered with the whole concept of, just love and light, that if you're not positive all the time, oh no, that's not spiritual, high vibe, high vibe. And there's nothing wrong with the term, but it has indeed created a culture where a lot of spiritual bypassing occurs, a lot of shaming of the people who, in honesty, all honesty, the people who struggle with this high vibe culture are very much the ones who are elevated in their evolutionary process. They are able to allow themselves to be very real with themselves and acknowledge when things are not fair, have a very organic type of feeling or response or reaction to a circumstance. Just constantly like, oh, it's okay. They're just not as evolved. It's okay. Because, I need to be more compassionate. But compassionate for whom? For whom? For someone who chooses not to progress beyond a certain type of behavior? No, that's not always the case. Sometimes you need to just be like, look, you need to get out of my space. You are not growing me any further than I need to grow. So I'm going to need to clear you out so that other circumstance and other individuals will be able to have space in my awareness, and they are going to help me grow. And this is not just about growing in a compassionate way. Sometimes when we clear out stagnant energies, it opens up our auric field for something much more disharmonic than what we're comfortable with to enter. And it's not that we're setting ourselves up for drama. It's that this is absolutely going to shake everything up, cause a bunch of agitation energies that will cause things to rise up, cause things to become a much more intense and in-depth learning experience. A perfect life is not devoid of experiences that cause you to question yourself, cause you to be uncomfortable here and there, okay? But if you're consistently in that state where you're consistently uncomfortable, consistently feel in a negative way, that also needs to be looked at, okay? Because then you're not cycling back around, you're stuck in one cycle. So card number 50, potential gateway. So if you look, the heart space is the way to enter into a new way of being. If you allow yourself to exist in a more heart-centered way, you can definitely go much deeper into yourself. Okay. Uh, the only thing is, the, the only thing is, um, we have to understand the heart is capable of so much more than what we are limiting the heart to do. Okay, so the heart can love, and our concept of love is very, very limited. Love is not just cuddles. It's not just like, oh, I'm your cheerleader, go, 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 good job. No, sometimes love has to tear you down when you've erected a structure, a belief structure, a relationship structure that is faulty, meaning it's at risk of crumbling and harming you unnecessarily. Sometimes love will be the wrecking ball that comes and demolishes that structure. So when we allow the heart to be the gateway, this is truly, truly freeing you to experience the totality of your life. Okay, giving yourself permission to be you, exist in your full authenticity. And there's man, I almost don't want to use that term anymore. Thank you, Heather. I almost don't want to use the term authenticity anymore, because it's again falling into that subculture of like, you're not authentic, this is the way to be no, if I want to act a fool, that's my authenticity. If I want to sound spiritual, that's my authenticity. Whatever I feel in that moment, that is me being authentically me. That's what it is. Authenticity is becoming another soup du jour type thing, where people use a term not really understanding what it is they're talking about, and that's okay. That's your authentic self. You don't quite understand what it means to be authentic, but you're learning, you're growing. The only thing that really like irks me personally as an individual is when the term authenticity is again being used to oppress the very people that are trying to be authentic. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you're doing it wrong. No, that's not how you do it. This is how you're authentic. You got to use bad words. If bad words are not part of your vocabulary, it's not authentic to be, using bad words. If bad words are a part of your vocabulary, it's not authentic to try and, edit yourself just so people will be more receptive, and then your numbers can grow if you're doing some social media thing. So really being authentic is just being who you are. The people who are drawn to you are drawn to you. People who aren't. All of it is okay. We're all on our paths. We're all going to get to the same place at the right time for ourselves. And no one gets to tell us what to do. I mean, unless you're intentionally hurting other people, then I'm gonna have to say no, stop it. That I don't hit. I don't. Card number 24, rebirth. We are going through a rebirthing process. Okay, we're definitely going through the most active part of the rebirthing. So for those who are not familiar with labor and delivery, um, active labor is when the baby is actually dropping down in the canal, engaged. It's not just the pushing. There's this whole process that comes before the actual pushing takes place. The whole pushing thing, pushing the baby out, that's like the last, I don't know, the last 1/10 of the laboring process. So for it's looking and feeling as though since probably about, for some 2016, for some 2017, for others maybe around 2018, we've been in a birthing process this whole time. And at this point, the baby's engaged, the head is engaged, it's ready to push out. We see the head, she is crowning. So we are crowning, we are rebirthing ourselves. We're not bringing anything else out into this creation, but higher aspects of ourselves. Okay, right. I see the head. There's a lot of hair. That's like the most awkward part of labor and delivery, when you're you're focused on the pain of the labor, and then the staff, whoever Mommy, do you want to feel the head? Like, no, I don't want to feel the head. I want to focus and push the baby out. We are the earth keepers. Okay. Card number 18, the earth keepers. When we say earth keepers, this goes beyond just the animals and the plants. We are each other's keeper. We are not each other's boss. We are here to attend to each other in a way that frees the other person to grow in a very free manner. Your love should not serve as a cage, as a gilded cage for someone else where I love you, so I'm going to tell you what to do. Instead, the more appropriate type of way to be someone's keeper is like, look, you're not going to want to hear this, okay? But I am noticing there are a few things that concern me. Definitely let me know if you're not open to receiving my observations. But there are a few things that concern me and I care. I don't want you to struggle unnecessarily. So this is what I'm seeing. Do you need any kind of assistance? Is there any kind of way that I can help? That's how you're someone's keeper. You're not someone's keeper if you're like, look, you need to do this. No, you're doing that wrong. And no, that is not how it goes. For Insta, if you would like me to see your comments, please join me on the link that I just commented. So we're now being tasked to remember that we are each other's keepers. Okay. Card number 39, free from judgment, free to love. This is what we were just talking about. Free from judgment, free to love. Free to be yourself, to love yourself in whatever way you feel is most appropriate for you. The whole concept of self-love right now, there is just, it frustrates me personally that things that are so pure end up becoming so distorted after a period of time. And I guess that's just kind of part of the human experience. The self-love movement, it's not about mastering anything. Self-love is truly about recognizing that you deserve to be loved by you. Okay. It doesn't mean that if you don't know how to love yourself, if you haven't mastered that yet, no one else is going to love you. That's the most BS lie I have ever heard in my life. And I bought into that for a long time. I very much thought I was unworthy of love because I didn't know how to love myself. Now, I didn't wild out. I didn't have a period of like deviant or risky behavior. I simply was just like, no, I don't want people around because that's how I process. I just don't want people around. And, I didn't learn how to love until someone refused to allow me to push them away. This is how I learned about love, the gravity of unconditional love with no conditions. Where, you know what, you're going to push me away, but I see you're doing that because you're hurting and you don't understand the type of unconditional love that I'm bringing. So I'm going to stay right here. I'm not going to be all up in your face, but I'm going to stay right here. When you're done wilding out, I'm still right here. When you're done trying to push everybody away, I'm still right here. I'm going to be your constant. And that's how I learned about self-love. And this concept of basically damning yourself, it's just not fair. There's nothing in this life you're going to master. The ego would like you to believe you're going to be a master of something in this life. But the fact is, there's nothing in this life you're going to master on a level that is really, truly a master of something when it comes to the terms that soul uses. So you're here simply to learn. The concept of mastering something is very much ego-based. I don't need to master anything. I'm going to continue to learn until I'm done learning. I'm going to continue breathing and living. And the moment I've learned everything that I need to learn in this life, that's when I'm going to stop breathing. That's when I'm going to move on to the next level, because this is really just a classroom. Okay. So you have to free yourself from judgment, free yourself to love. This includes your own judgments of yourself, your condemnations of yourself. You have to allow yourself to love yourself. You have to give yourself permission to love other people You don't have to always understand it, but sometimes you do have to recognize that the most loving thing you can do, especially for a toxic connection with someone else, is not to stop loving them, but to let them go. To just walk away. Not try and convince them that their existence is somehow wrong or flawed and that you're here to save them, because that I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get into that. So here it is. The aspects of you that have been hidden, the aspects, this is you, your consciousness, trying to be unaware of what it is in the darkness, in your shadows, that's rising up. It's ready to be acknowledged, okay? This aspect of yourself is ready to be acknowledged, and you're either going to let it rise up to meet you, or your soul is going to slam you down to meet it. Your choice. What will you choose? Your choice, your higher self, your soul is giving you the option to choose. And really, if you choose to encourage it to rise up and meet you, that's a much more compassionate way to process all of these energies that are coming through. Again, we're about to have another lunar event, a lunar eclipse on a wolf moon. That's what are wolves known for? Pack behavior. Okay. You're basically a wolf pack all on your own. You have all these shards, these aspects of yourself, your soul, all these previous lives, previous incarnations, memories that are wanting to return back to the pack. So this wolf moon is calling the pack back to you. Card number 38, acceptance of love. Embrace your growth. Okay, look at that. Embrace your growth. It's time to do so. Allow your masculine and your feminine to come back together. For some, it's an internal process. For others, this reunification of masculine and feminine has to do with, what do you call it? Soul connections with other people. It's not just a romantic soul connection. It's not just the twin. I don't even want to use that word anymore. What should we call it? I don't know. We're just going to ignore it. I don't even. It's just about bringing all your parts back so you can learn the lessons that you need to learn at the level you need to learn it. That's all it is. That's really all it is. And if we're going to fixate on someone external from us, like, oh, this person's going to complete me. When this person comes back, what if they choose to never come back? How about that? Let's kind of analyze that a little bit. There may be a soul connection with an individual, but they are still a sovereign. What if the person that you have a connection with loves to sabotage their own life, their own happiness? How about that? You're going to live your whole life unhappy and miserable because they haven't healed. You're going to mirror their wound. If you're going to mirror their wound, they're going to see that reflection and amplify it. And you're going to mirror that amplification, and they're going to see that and amplify it some more. And then you're going to, you know what I mean? So it just doesn't stop. When you allow yourself to grow and heal on your own terms, when you recognize that happiness, your happiness in particular, is no one else's duty, that if you can't find happiness within yourself, you can't choose to be happy, because happiness is a mindset, okay? If you can't choose to be in that mindset of happiness, gratefulness, that is unfair to put that on someone else's shoulders. If you yourself can't make yourself happy, why would you ever task it to someone else? You just can't. You know what I mean? So grow yourself. Grow yourself not to bring someone else back, but because you deserve growth. You deserve to love yourself. You deserve a very peaceful, amazing human experience. Now, many of us, card number 52, stillness. Many of us are afraid to sit in the stillness. Like, I'm afraid to look at myself. Why? Many of us think that we're afraid of failure. We're afraid, what if we're not enough? But, I recognize that this earth plane, this human existence, is a very convoluted. Everything's just kind of turned upside down. It's turned on its head. And this is very true for me as well, where it's like, for much of my life, I thought I was afraid of failure. In actuality, what I was afraid of was fully recognizing the greatness of who and what I am for myself, as well as for other people. I still don't quite grasp it, but I'm willing to flow with it at this point. Like, every interaction I have with others will help me to better understand, even just an infinitesimal little part, the tiny itty bitty part of the very thing I don't understand. And that's okay, because all those little itty bitty parts, just like a grain of sand, when you gather all of them together, which is what your life is, you then get a beach. Okay. So are you going to be like, well, that's just one little speck of sand, that's not important? Oh, no, I beg to differ. Every interaction with people, with others, with yourself, conversations you're having within yourself, it helps to add to that tropical beach that is your life. So you have to sit in the stillness. All the answers that you seek are contained in that stillness. And if you're not going to sit in the stillness, you're not going to get your answers. Even readings like this one, private readings, all of those are nothing more than external confirmations that you have already been receiving from your soul. Nothing more than external confirmations. You should never give someone so much power that they're dictating to you how your journey is going. Nope, nope, nope. You should just allow them to confirm the very things your soul's already giving you. Card number 40, Pachamama. So this is about us reflecting Pachamama. If you're not familiar with who that is, that's Mother Earth. Okay, that's Mother Earth. This is about us reflecting. She reflects, we reflect. This is the law of reciprocal reflection. And it goes back to the whole Earth Keeper thing. We're reflecting the wounds of other people at this point. We are reflecting Gaia's wounds. And it's time. We can't keep just chasing our own tail. At some point, you need to recognize you are also the head of that same dog. Okay? So you can choose to fixate on something else instead of just your tail. You don't need to have someone who you believe to be more evolved than you're human, tell you, the little doggy, stop chasing your tail. Stop chasing your tail. Like, no. Find something else to fixate on. And fixation is not a negative thing. When you learn how to appreciate all your little quirks, all of your little flaws, your handicaps, for what they are, they actually empower you. Okay. Some people would say, you need to be medicated for ADHD. I beg to differ. I'll put that on a shirt. I beg to differ. That ADHD, it actually can be harnessed to exist and process on a multidimensional level, simultaneous multidimensional existence. How about that? Try that with a regular old non-ADHD mind. Excuse you. I am not broken. None of us are broken. None of us. And there you go, card number 7. Amplify your positive emotions, because every step that is a positive step leaves ripples. It sends ripples out from you. Just like every step that is a negative step will send out more negativity through your field. Now, positive and negative are just a charge. If we recognize both positive and negative call to us the very things that grow us, then our fear of our own process begins to diminish. We then begin to just be. And that's really the goal. That's the goal of spirituality, just being, where you don't have to try. Because when you're just being, you're existing in your authenticity. When I say things like, oh, I have to be more mindful, I have to be more this, I have to be more that, that's not me. That's not me. And it's really treading a very fine line, and recognizing that, okay, this is, these are little things that I need to be more willing to observe so I can see what it's rooted in. And if it's rooted in fear, then I probably need to do some modifications. Notice how that's not a negative thing. Notice that when you see it in that way, it's not a negative thing. This is not a negative aspect of me, but this aspect, it tends to create a little bit more struggle than I really want or need. So maybe I need to just modify it a little bit. And then it won't be as much of a struggle for myself. That's not the same as like, girl, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. Just shifting that mindset just a little bit, still acknowledging the things that need to be acknowledged. Card number 2, inner trust. You have to trust yourself to know what you need. And if you don't know what you need, you probably need stillness. There's probably too much of these ripples, and you can't see your own reflection in the surface of the water. Stand very still for a little bit. Sit in stillness. And this is, if we're going to, again, be very honest, what goes on with the most gifted empaths, the most sensitive empaths, is that we're afraid of what we're going to see. And so we purposely keep stomping all over our water and looking for other people to save. Because it's those very people that are reflecting back to us certain aspects that we're afraid to look at within ourselves. So it's this sense of, if I heal this within you, it'll heal within me. And it's not going to heal within you. It's not going to heal within you unless you choose to heal it. You're not going to heal yourself by healing someone else. You can begin, it can help you in that it can help you to bring your attention to the things that you need to pay attention to within yourself. But if you think you're going to heal yourself by healing other people, that's just not how it works. And that's not how it works. That's the same unbalanced energy of the concept of drinking poison, thinking it'll harm someone else. That your negativity, constantly having this negative conversation within your mind, like holding that grudge because someone did you wrong, did you dirty based off of what you believe. That's not going to do anything to them. They've already moved on. They've already moved on. You're the only one that's still there in that moment. So they're just two extremes of the same plane of mental existence. You need to be your own sunlight. You have light within yourself. If you find yourself surrounded by darkness, understand you don't have to wait for light to come to you. You don't have to wait for something outside of you to shine a light on your truth. Your truth is your light. Your truth is within you. Be your own sunlight, okay? Be your own sunlight. And even if your light is very dim, understand when you're surrounded by darkness, even embers glow very brightly, okay? And sometimes that's why you have to be surrounded by darkness, fully surrounded by darkness, to give you clarity on the gravity of your light, despite it being turned all the way down and just being a dull glow. Sometimes that's why. So you can choose yourself. So you can get so pissed off that you're like, F this, I'm going to choose me this time. I choose everybody else all the time, and this is how everyone still treats me. I'm going to choose me this time. And sometimes that's why it has to get to that point, because many of the empaths are so motherfucking stubborn. Because we're so stubborn. Because we can tolerate so much pain. Because guess what? As an empath, especially the highly sensitive empaths, your entire life you've been pulling in everyone else's pain. Pain is what you're accustomed to. Pain is your normal. You exist with so much pain all around you all the time, you not knowing where this pain is coming from. So you're taking ownership of it, and that's all you know. So sometimes it takes an elevated amount of pain for you to recognize, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. No, sir, no, I'm not doing this no more. Now, we have this card. This card, like, I don't know, sometimes it makes me uncomfortable, but right now, it doesn't. This card looks very hopeful to me right now. There's a softness in his face. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of ridges. But to me, this right now looks like you've been existing in the light. Now you're allowing yourself to drop back down into those shadow aspects, those trenches within the heart's oceans. And you're recovering aspects of yourself. And there's now an ease about you. There's now a calm that's settling in. That's like, I didn't have to be afraid. I didn't have to be afraid. And you're seeing with full clarity. And that yellow gold color is solar plexus energy. It's self-empowerment. And that goldish tone to that yellow tells me that you're more better able to tap into that Christ consciousness, that higher level of being. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. And I see some of the reds and the oranges, healing of the root chakra, allowing the energy to flow through. Because sometimes what ends up happening is you don't recognize that the fear, because there's a fear of scarcity, of lacking, that scarcity mindset, lacking mindset, poverty mindset. So you hold on to things. And when you hold on to things, especially energy, it creates blockages. You're cutting off the root chakra's ability to ground that energy. You're supposed to allow the energy to flow through. The more you allow yourself to empty, the more there's space to be refilled. But if you're afraid, like, we'll never get refilled, you're going to block that off and you're going to have just stagnant energy. Have you tried this? Okay. Either visualize or actually try it. Take some milk, whole milk, put it in a cup, fill it all the way up, and begin filling that cup even further with water. The very top portion of the cup will become watered down. It'll become watered down. It'll eventually become nearly see-through. But the bottom portion, probably about halfway down, halfway all the way to the bottom, pretty much will stay as milk, whole milk, thick, because it's much more dense. Same thing with energy. If you allow that energy to become stagnant, it's going to become very thick, very dense. And even if creation tries to refill your cup, it's not going to get very far. It's not. And then that eventually that milk is going to curdle. It's going to rot and curdle and become even more dense. And this is what's going on with our energies right now. And notice it's not a right or wrong, good or bad, evil, or like evolved or not evolved. One's better than the other. No, this is just about acknowledging where you're at in your journey, allowing yourself to see where your journey has been taking you, and then recognizing what areas need to be adjusted. I mean, none of us want to have curdled milk. Curdled milk energy is not the business. Card number 46, the serpent. I need the book for this. So for the serpent, okay, maybe I don't need the book. I'm getting some info. So if you look how the serpent is all like coiled, well, not coiled, but kind of retracted, this is not a good positioning. If you're handling snakes, this is, they getting ready to strike, okay? I grew up with snakes. As long as the neck part is fairly stretched out, you ain't going to get bit. There's a very low likelihood of you getting bit. The moment they start to pull back, retract on themselves, you's about to get bit. Bit real good. I got bit plenty of times. So this card is telling me this lunar eclipse that's occurring, it's causing the light of our truth to come forward. Okay. Part of us is going to be thrust into those shadow aspects. Those of us who have been existing in the shadows, refusing to allow ourselves to come more into the light, we're going to be thrust into the brightly lit aspects. Those of us who are afraid to be recognized for the greatness that we are, afraid for others to see how different we are, you need to come forward at this point. All right. You really just need to come forward at this point. Hiding away the gift of you doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve anyone. Even being hidden, there are still people who will judge you, condemn you just for being different. Let them. It's not your issue that they can't understand the gravity of your presence on this earth plane. They are still existing within boxes. And from their box, their confinement unit, they've popped up their little head and are like, why are you outside of your box? Get back in your box. Listen here, boo boo. I'm freeing everyone from the boxes so we can all be outside of the box. That's why I'm out of the box. So that y'all can understand there's a little latch on the little door. You just take your finger, open up the latch, the door pops open, and then you walk out. Okay? You can save yourself. So that's what I'm doing outside of the box. And I think once you recognize that people are going to save themselves from themselves just by witnessing you in your journey, you can better balance this feeling of needing to help. Okay? Because you're here to help. You're not here to save. We're not here as messiahs. And if you think you're here as a messiah, go ahead and continue believing that. But I would like to remind you, the last time someone came in a messiah capacity, he was crucified. Okay? So if that is what you would like, if you want that title, you want around 2, 3, or 4 of that, by all means, please do. I'm not going to be there though. I'm going to be enjoying myself on the beach that is my consciousness. Tropical beach, the beautiful turquoise waters. All right, let me just get a couple more cards. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, hello to you too. Oh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I was going to start singing all the single ladies. Context. You have to allow yourself to recognize that sometimes the information that you're pulling in is not, you're not giving it context. Okay. So sometimes you get visuals, you get advanced notice of things that are going to happen in your life, dreams, things people say, some sort of feeling, a knowing, and it freaks you out because you don't have the context. Well, that's a very comforting thing. How can you be afraid of something if you don't even know the context of what that message means? I used to be very afraid of all the precog experiences because one of my most heightened sensitivities is not a gift to me, it's a sensitivity. One of my most heightened sensitivities is precog ability. And it used to really, really like freak me the F out. It would shut me down. And I had to learn the hard way. I don't have the full context of what it is I'm viewing. So I should not fully commit to whatever my belief is about that little snippet. So you might get little bits of information about your life, about your journey, but unless you understand that you don't have the full context of what it is, you don't need to freak out. You don't need to freak out. There's been so many times where I'm like convinced because I've seen a snippet that's so very, very clear. And I'm convinced, oh my God, so-and-so's gonna die. And I'm freaked the F out. And it's like, no, that's a potentiality. This was a potentiality, and you were being shown this potentiality without context so that you could go to them and share this information, and they can choose if they want to continue on the trajectory they're on and end up with that, or shift the trajectory. So allow yourself to be free, to be open, to receive more information so you can get a better idea of the context of the intuitive hits that you're getting. In addition to that, I'm also being told, okay, so this is about transformation, right? The dragonfly. I'm being told we don't understand the context of a lot of the events, the what the heck is it called? Current events that's going on in this world. A lot of us don't understand the context of that. And we have to stop setting ourselves on fire for the official stories that we're being fed, because we don't, I mean, let's be honest. The news is a script. There's more than enough videos showing that news stations all across the nation are saying the same things, okay? It's an official storyline. And unless you know what the true story is, and let's face it, the story is written by the victors, by the aggressors. It's almost never told by those who are being attacked and oppressed. All right? It's almost never told by them. So, context. If you allow yourself to begin exploring the subject of context, you will then free yourself to rise, to grow, to transform. But we need to begin really understanding we are setting ourselves on fire for an official storyline, plot twist. We're not buying into that story no more. Okay? We are not buying into that story no more. I don't even watch the news. I used to watch the news all the time, and I found by the time the news is halfway through, my hands are like this. I'm really tight in myself, and I'm like, why am I not breathing? I'm so stressed out. I can't do it no more. I can't. Self-preservation is key. It's time for us to begin preserving that inner child. No more allowing that inner child that's listening to the news to be further traumatized. This world is a safe place. It is a safe place. There are areas of conflict that exist within this world. There are still atrocities being committed, but let's just get this out there. Many of those areas of conflict and the atrocities that are being committed are being done by the very people who are determining what that official storyline is. Let's be very honest. I don't like to talk about political things, but it's time for us to bury that shit. Bury the bitch because she's dead. That official storyline is bullshit. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Hegelian dialectic. I'll say it again. Hegelian dialectic, because what Hegelian dialectic is, create a problem, offer a solution, implement it. This is like when I do manipulative shit to my kids. My version of Hegelian dialectic, baby, I'm going to give you some options, okay? You could either brush your teeth right now, and then we'll read a story before you go to bed. Or I can read you a story first, and then you brush your teeth before you go to bed. Or you can choose to not listen to me and ignore me, and then I'll be upset, and you're going to brush your teeth, and we're not going to read a story before bed. No matter what, I'm still getting what the fuck I want. You going to bed and you brushing your teeth. So, Hegelian dialectic. Okay? That's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. I don't want to touch on any other topics, but that's what they're doing. It's time for you to open your eyes wide. And one of my kids realized what I was doing, called me out on my shit. Those aren't really options because all of them involve brushing your teeth and going to bed. I was like, yes. Unfortunately for you, you chose me as your mother. So what you can pick? Brush your teeth and go to bed, or brush your teeth and go to bed? You a sovereign, aren't you? Pick. Go ahead and pick, boo-boo. Pick. Pick what you want. Brush your teeth and go to bed, or brush your teeth and go to bed. My kids, yeah, no. And that's another thing. My children are very, very sensitive. They're highly sensitive, highly developed cognitively, spiritually, just highly. We don't watch the news. And one time, I think it was my mom, when I was still taking care of her, she was watching the news. And my most sensitive child, he wasn't saying nothing. He was kind of just in the room. He wasn't looking at the TV much. He just, every once in a while, he'd look and he'd just be like, and then finally later on, he goes, why do you watch that? It had me stressed out. I'm sorry, boo-boo. It's all a lie anyways. Don't believe it. He's like, I know. It feels like a lie. Well, then don't believe it. Just let grandma watch whatever she's watching. Final card, fortitude. You have to fortify yourself with your truth. That's just hands down. Fortify yourself with your truth. The whole point of all the things that are going on, all the things that we're being coerced into participating in, believing in, is so that we will manifest the very things that they need us to manifest. And it's done through fear. So if you're afraid, because, like you see all these things, World War III and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're all going to die. Um, I don't know if you got the memo. Everyone, before you leave this planet, you die. All of us. There's no one exempt. All of us. The plants die, the animals die, all the little critters, they die. We die. That's a given. That's a given. It's a given. So you're afraid of something that's guaranteed. Is that a waste of time, or is that a waste of time? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Yes, I don't want people to think that fear of death is makes them somehow weak. It's a part of your process. You're processing still. Okay? And it's okay. If you're still afraid, it's okay. That's okay. But just know that's a given. It's not something you're going to escape. So you can go ahead and continue processing that fear of death the rest of your life, but don't allow that processing to muck up and completely block your path. You have to continue walking your path. You have to continue living. You have to continue being fully present in the really important moments of your life. I mean, you should be present for your entire life, but at least please try and be present for the really important parts. Okay? So you want to preserve. First, you want to get context of your fears, context of what it is you're struggling through, struggling to understand, struggling to overcome, struggling to accept. Whatever it is, if it's a struggle, see what the context is first, okay? And you might recognize, oh, well, that was silly. I don't need to do that anymore. And that's what's happened for all of my struggles, all of my problems. I don't have problems anymore. I don't have problems because I realize my life is perfect with all of the circumstance that people normally would call problems. To me, those aren't problems. To me, those are opportunities to begin learning on deeper levels. Ain't that some shit? Emmie, do you have problems? No. I love my life. Emmie, do you have enemies? No. But I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that won't say no when they say, is Emmie your enemy? Yes. Well, just because I'm your enemy doesn't mean you're mine. That's not my problem. I don't have problems, remember? Because I'm entering a state of preservation. I'm all about that inner child now. I'm all about that inner child. And thank God for my ADHD, my short attention span. See how beautiful this works? I have this very solid thing that I apply to myself. If I can't remember why I'm pissed at you, I can't be pissed at you. I just can't. If I can't remember what you did, exactly what you did to make me not like you, then I can't not like you. Oh, and guess what? My ADHD prevents me from having some sort of short-term memory. I'm just saying. Emmie, are you still mad at me? Oh, I was mad at you? About what? I don't know. You just seem mad at me. Oh, well, then that's over, boo-boo. I don't know why I was mad at you. I didn't even realize I was mad. It's done. We're fortified. So you have to allow yourself to just really enter that state of, unless I really remember what it was. And if you do remember what it was, then that means you need to still process that, because you're still there. You're still there in that moment. You haven't walked away from it. And that was a big aha moment for me. I'm like, why can't I remember? I know it was bad. It felt really bad. Like, I feel like they did something. I felt like they fucked me over really bad. I can't remember what the hell it was. What the hell was it? Oh, it's okay, girl. You already walked away from it. You're not chained to that moment anymore. You're not chained to that memory of your perception of how someone victimized you, because you're not a victim. You grew from that. Maybe you just needed a reminder of how strong you are, because you really don't know how strong you are until you have no choice but to be strong. Ooh, let that sink in. Yeah, right? Oh, you're mad at me? What did I do? I don't remember, but I'm sorry. You know, I tell my husband sometimes, I'm still mad at you. He goes, for what? I don't know. Okay, so you're still mad? Probably not. Probably not. Whatever it was, I was mad, but probably not anymore. just let me process. Process what? I don't know. Just give me candy. Give me food. It'll be fine. I'm just a little bit hangry. So let's do one final message, guys. What kind of message should this be? What deck? What deck? So we have the lunar eclipse tomorrow. Or I think it's tonight. Oh, I have a lunar sound bath event. You can find that on my website, emmieevolving.com. It's going to be a sound bath. Oh, we're going to be using binaural beats that are custom created for me for this particular thing. I'm also going to be using frequencies from crystal singing bowls that are attuned to the chakras. And yes, I checked their frequency. They absolutely are within the range for each chakra. And then we're also going to be doing a DNA activation, auric shield work, like a bunch of stuff. Soul was totally giving me a laundry list of things to do. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot. Why do I have to do all that? And just do it. So let's get, all right, this deck is coming forward. Let's see. Final message for those who, I think this is going to really be more geared to those who are not just starseeds or Blu-rays, but those who are ready to become aware of things that extend beyond a human life, okay? God, this deck is so thick. My goodness. When you register for the event, it's a live event, but it's also recorded. And so you get access to the recording. So if you can't even make it to the live event, that's perfectly fine because it's recorded and you have access to that. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I love this platform that I'm using. It's not going to be on YouTube. The platform that I'm going to be using has the ability to record, and the user interface is very similar to a live stream. You guys can comment and interact with each other. It's pretty awesome. I use it to teach my classes. All right. Ooh, I like that card. So this card popped up. It fell out of the deck. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, but that's not, I just wanted 3 cards. This is a lot of cards. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do this. This is all necessary, I believe. All right, card. So the numbers go like this: 46, 85, 16, 76, 69. Lots of 6s here. Lots of 6s. So card number 46, good intentions. This is serious in the past. So many things happened that were actually later discovered to be atrocities because of good intentions. Okay. It's not enough to have a good intention anymore. The whole message of this card is that your intention is beautiful, but you have to begin really embracing sovereignty. As a sovereign, in order for you to truly exist as a sovereign, you have to respect other people's sovereignty, whether they recognize they are sovereign or not. So with me, I fully embrace my sovereignty. That means I am not going to ever tell you what to do. I will share information as my soul tells me is appropriate. I will assist in whatever way you choose to allow me to assist, but I will not overstep my boundaries, because although my intentions are good, I respect you and love you as a sovereign in your totality, and your journey is yours. So that's the first message, okay? Card number 85, living in the now. This moment, this now that we are in, is a moment where these letters are just too much. The moment that we're in right now. Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. Download this. Share story. All right. My Insta died. Oh, well, it didn't die. It hit the cutoff mark. So living in the now, this now moment that we are in is all about reclaiming our sovereignty, recognizing you don't have to buy into a storyline, recognizing you don't have to take sides. There are no sides. We all come from one source. There are no sides. We are simply varying degrees of placement on the same plane of existence. So in the now, we have to allow back our sovereignty, allow back our birthright, our own abundance. Also, recognizing everyone else should be free to do that for themselves as well. Okay. The next card, card number 16, protectiveness. I love Lyra. So card number 16, protectiveness. Recognize that you are already naturally protected. This fear of the events that are brought before you is not about your lack of protection. It's your fear of seeing with clarity who and what you actually are. It's your fear of your own greatness that causes you to become crippled, that causes you to become stagnant. This overprotectiveness of ourselves, like, oh no, I don't want to be hurt. No, I don't want to experience that. No, I don't want, it's not serving you anymore. Okay. It's not serving you anymore. So let that go. Again, it ties into the good intentions. Your intention is good. You want to protect yourself. You want to, be safe. You are safe. You are safe. There is nothing that's going to happen in your life that your soul doesn't agree to. If it's not necessary to grow your understanding in some way, and this includes the really, really tragic, traumatic things that happens to people, if it's not going to grow you in some way, it's not going to be allowed to happen. Do you guys know how many times I've almost been run over by a car? I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Like my hair went shh. The car nearly ran me over so close. My hair shh, like that. And I was like, what was that? It was a car going like 70 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, 35 miles an hour zone. Okay. I wasn't allowed to be hurt because I'm badass. And no, I wasn't allowed to be harmed in that way because it was not going to grow my understanding. So that was not allowed. How many times have I almost gotten in a fatal car accident? And for whatever reason, I had a brain fart. I took my foot off the gas and I just brake checked real quick. I don't know why. And then whoosh, the car goes by. Oh shit, that would have really T-boned my door. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have survived that one. But if things are not going to grow you in some way, even the loss of people you love, either through breakup, through death, whatever it is, it's not allowed to happen. So just start traveling your path. Stop being so overly protective of yourself. Yes, you might be in situations where you have to defend yourself. Yes, you might need to be protective of other people. But this whole fear-based, something's going to happen to me. I'm still working on this. I still do think maybe one day someone might kidnap me. It's getting better. It's getting better. Promise. Card number 76, graduation. We are graduating from this false matrix. That's just that. We are graduating from this false matrix. That's why, just like a narcissist who is recognizing their grip on you has been released, they are wilding out. Whoever is in control of this matrix is wilding out. This is the last hurrah before we slip fully out of their fingers. I mean, we pretty much all out of their fingers already anyways, but they just trying real hard to hold on. We're graduating. That's it. We're graduating. As we graduate, we will enter a stage of natural humility. Card number 69. We have to go through this very tumultuous process to release from ourselves the very cords that have kept us pumping energy into this matrix. This is about our growth. This is about our rise. Nothing else. No other details should matter but your growth and your rise. Because you can't control any of that other stuff, you begin within yourself. If you realize you are the epicenter of your world, and that from your thoughts are what spring up the events of your life, you can then begin shifting what your thoughts are, what you focus on. That's why it's so important, so important that you really take accountability for your life and the events of your life. Okay? With the way the mind works, it has the ability to reprogram coding. Okay? I'm talking about biospiritual code, bioelectric pulses. So with the DNA, that's nothing more than a memory stick, a delivery system that's being fed code from your morphogenetic template. That's your main OS. That's your operating system. The DNA, it's simply like an app. You can update that app. If that app is non-functional, you can update it. But if you allow your OS to be tampered with, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So what's going on right now is they were plugged into our OS and then we jailbroke our phone. Is that still a term? I'm so old. Do you still need to jailbreak iPhones? I don't know about any of this stuff. My husband's an IT man. He'd be using these terms. But why is it in jail? Did we pay for the phone? Why does it need to be broken out of jail? I don't understand. It's like, just let me do what I need to do to your phone. And then I couldn't fucking work the phone out of the house. Put it back in jail. Put it back in jail. I don't know how to work it now. That was years ago when they first came out with the iPhone. But that's what's happening. We're being jailbroke. You know, there's a lot of bloatware that was installed in our OS. Fucking IT, man. You guys want to talk about cars too? We can talk about engine blocks. He be talking nonstop to me, telling me about stuff I don't want to know about, clutches and stuff, and gear shifts, and I don't know. Can't we just talk about makeup? I'm not talking about makeup. You never talk about makeup with me. No, we got to talk about man stuff. I'm joking, guys. He really does talk about all this stuff all the time. And that's how I know. I don't really know about this stuff. Nitrous, yes. NOS, turbo. Is that what it sounds like? That's what he tells me. It's winding up. It's winding up. What's winding up? I don't know what that is. But when there's something wrong with the car, I'm like, I think it might be the differential. That's what's going on. We really might need to bring this. And he's like, no, I don't think it is. The car's speaking to me, honey. It's telling me what's wrong. and babe, though, seriously, haven't I been right pretty much all the time? Even though I don't understand how electronics work, I ask it to talk to me and it tells me what's wrong, and then we fix it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it is. Like our washing machine. Did you guys see Pedro? He went right up to the camera. Our washing machine apparently broke, and I was like, no, I think it's a balancing thing or a belt. And this whole talk about bearings and whatnot, it wasn't. It was a balancing thing with a belt. It was fixed. So yeah, magnetic false. That is evil. Evil. Magnetic false lashes are evil, is what it is. None of you buy that. It's garbage. How do I know this? Because I bought it and it was garbage. 20-something year veteran of the makeup industry. I'm talking about higher level. I wasn't just at a makeup counter. I was, I worked with an agency and I couldn't apply that shit on myself. This bullshit. Especially the two that sandwich together. Bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's to blind you from the truth. You use a serum that, I tried a serum and then it gave me an eye infection on like the second day. Bullshit. I call serum. No, castor oil should work too. Okay, guys, the message is done. Today was my day off. And this is how I spent my day off morning. I got to teach class later. Is that even really a day off? If you teach class later? No, it's not. So I'll go live again and do the zodiacs. I'll start all over again. How about that? Which ones to buy for what? For lashes? Did I bring the lashes up here? Or for the serum. Latisse is a very popular one that is clinically shown to grow lashes, but it's also clinically shown to stain your eyeball. So it stains your lash line like a dirty brown, and it has the ability to potentially darken your eyes as well as your sclera. So with my eyes, they're so dark already. I took a selfie and it was like blackness. You can't even see my pupil. Look. Can you see it? You can't see my pupil. There you go. There you go. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'll be back. Well, I'm going to see if my husband wants to do anything before class. And if he doesn't, I'll be back doing readings. Okay? I'll do readings again. Bye, guys. Oh, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Y'all know the fucking frequency. Shirts are available. I got mine. Let me switch over to my Gurgle My Crystal Ball shirt for later. Bye, guys.